What if the real reason you're losing strength after 60 isn't aging at all? Have you ever tried standing up from a chair and felt your legs tremble just a little more than they did last month? Or maybe you've noticed that climbing the stairs, once effortless, now feels like hiking uphill? Now imagine you're 92 and still walking on your own, cooking for yourself, chasing your grandkids, and gardening on Sundays. Sounds like a dream? Well, here's the truth no one tells you. It's not only possible, it's preventable. And the key isn't in some expensive supplement or miracle device, but in something so shockingly simple. A single vitamin that's quietly vanishing from millions of aging bodies, taking their strength, balance, and independence with it. Each year, nearly 1 in 3 adults over the age of 65 will suffer a fall. And these falls aren't just clumsy slips. They often mark the beginning of the end, of self-reliance, of mobility, of freedom. But what if I told you this downward spiral can be stopped, even reversed? And what if the solution isn't some futuristic therapy, but a vitamin most people think they're already getting enough of? Enter vitamin D, the underrated powerhouse that might just be the single most important nutrient for anyone over 50. You've heard it's connected to bone health, but new research says that's just the tip of the iceberg. This vitamin plays a vital role in maintaining leg muscle strength, preventing dangerous falls, improving mobility and stability, supporting energy and immune resilience. In fact, studies now show that older adults with healthy vitamin D levels can reduce their risk of serious falls by up to 35% and are up to 45% more likely to maintain full mobility into their 80s and beyond. Sounds unbelievable? Stay with me, because by the end of this video you'll understand why so many seniors are deficient without knowing it, what that deficiency is silently to your body every single day, and most importantly, how to fix it, starting today. Because let's be honest, the real tragedy isn't aging. It's that millions are aging in fear of hip fractures, of losing independence, of becoming a burden, all while missing out on a simple, that affordable solution that could change everything. So here's my promise to you. If you care about protecting your health, your freedom, and your ability to live life on your terms for as long as possible, then what you're about to hear may be the most important health advice you'll get all year. Grab a pen. Stay with me, because the journey to reclaiming your strength starts right now, and all it takes is uncovering the truth about one vitamin you can't afford to ignore. Before we dive in, let me know in the comments. Have you ever experienced sudden weakness in your legs or lost balance without warning? Share your story below, because you're not alone. And if you're passionate about aging strong, aging smart, and aging free, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss a tip that could protect your future. Now let's get into it. The fragility of aging doesn't strike all at once. It arrives in subtle ways. An uneven gait, a sudden fear of slipping, or an inability to rise from a chair without leaning heavily on your arms. At first, we chalk it up to age. But beneath these daily struggles lies a quieter truth. A lack of vitamin D may be weakening the very structure that holds you upright. Modern research continues to draw a clear connection between insufficient vitamin D and a cascade of physical consequences in older adults, notably weakened muscle strength, reduced balance control, and a heightened risk of falling. These aren't minor inconveniences. In people over 70, falls are the leading cause of both fatal and non-fatal injuries. But here's the silver lining. This risk can be significantly reduced with one simple intervention: restoring adequate levels of vitamin D. One large-scale study published in the Journal of Active Aging found that seniors who maintained vitamin D levels above 35 nanograms per milliliter had a 29% lower incidence of serious falls over 2 years, compared to those below 20 nanograms per milliliter. That difference could mean the line between continued independence and a permanent stay in assisted living. Another research group in Sweden identified a direct correlation between vitamin D levels and lower body strength, particularly in the quadriceps, the very muscles responsible for stabilizing your steps and rising from a seated position. When these muscles weaken, walking becomes labored, stairs feel insurmountable, and simple tasks, like turning around in the kitchen, become dangerous. But the story goes deeper than muscle. Vitamin D also plays a pivotal role in calcium absorption. Without enough of it, calcium, no matter how much you consume, cannot properly integrate into bone tissue. The result? A silent and accelerated weakening of bones, especially in the hips and spine. Over time, this contributes to osteopenia, and in more advanced cases, osteoporosis, a condition estimated to affect nearly 13 million Americans over 65 and counting. Aging also brings with it another enemy, sarcopenia, the age-related loss of muscle mass. Unlike osteoporosis, sarcopenia isn't always talked about, but it's just as devastating. It slowly erodes strength, endurance, and reaction time. Experts now believe that vitamin D deficiency is one of the most preventable triggers of sarcopenia, accelerating its progression even in individuals who are otherwise active. So why is this deficiency so common? Well, the older body doesn't process sunlight as it once did. By age 70, your skin's ability to synthesize vitamin D from sunlight is down by over 60%. Factor in less time outdoors, medications that interfere with vitamin absorption, and dietary habits that exclude oily fish or fortified products, and you have the perfect storm for chronic depletion. What does this look like in real life? It starts with frequent leg cramps, particularly at night. Then perhaps comes a slow but persistent ache in your lower back, or a discomfort in your hips after simple walks. Some people notice that cuts take longer to heal, or bruises linger longer than they used to. Others experience muscle spasms or stiffness that make even basic movement uncomfortable. And for many, the warning signs only become clear after a fall has already happened. This is why early awareness is crucial. Now you might be wondering, if vitamin D is so important for our strength and balance, how did so many people end up deficient without even knowing it? Well, here's the kicker. The deficiency is often hiding in plain sight, silently causing more harm than we realize. In the next part, we'll uncover the invisible signs of vitamin D deficiency, the common misconceptions about how we're getting enough, and most importantly, what you can do to reverse the damage. Stay tuned, because the solution is simpler than you might think, and it could change the way you approach your health for the rest of your life. Taking control of your health begins with knowledge. But lasting transformation happens when knowledge becomes action. Fortunately, checking your vitamin D status is neither expensive nor invasive. A basic 25-OHD blood test, often covered by insurance or included in routine labs, can offer the first concrete glimpse into where you stand. If your levels fall below 30 nanograms per milliliter, and especially if they dip below 20, most health professionals will recommend a multi-step strategy to restore your reserves. And the beauty is, this strategy isn't complicated. It's about 3 core pillars: sunlight, food, and supplementation. Let's begin with the oldest source of all, the sun. While your body has the remarkable ability to synthesize vitamin D through skin exposure, aging changes how effectively that happens. A 70-year-old produces only 25 to 30% of the vitamin D from the same sun exposure a 25-year-old would get. Even so, this natural route should not be dismissed. If your skin allows, aim to sit in direct sunlight for 15 to 20 minutes, 4 times a week, ideally between 10:30 a.m. and 1:30 p.m., when UVB rays are most direct. For those living in northern regions or with mobility limitations, sunshine may not be a reliable year-round option. In these cases, UVB light therapy lamps, designed specifically for vitamin D production, can mimic the sun's spectrum. Used properly, under medical guidance, they offer a safe alternative during long winters or for homebound individuals. Of course, sunlight alone isn't always enough. That's where diet steps in. To ensure you're getting enough vitamin D, it's essential to integrate vitamin D-rich foods into your weekly routine. These foods not only support your bone health, but they also boost your muscle strength, balance, and overall mobility. Here's a list of vitamin D-rich foods you'll want to include regularly. Wild-caught salmon. If possible, opt for wild-caught salmon, which provides about 600 to 700 IU of vitamin D per 3-ounce serving. It's a fantastic source of healthy fats and vitamin D. Sardines or mackerel. These small, oily fish are incredibly nutrient-dense, with each typically offering 300 to 400 IU of vitamin D, making them a convenient and affordable option for boosting your intake. Egg yolks. You can find 40 IU of vitamin D in each egg yolk. While they're best known for their protein content, they're also a tasty, easy way to incorporate vitamin D into your diet. Fortified milk. Cow's milk or plant-based milks like soy, almond, or oat milk. A glass of milk, whether dairy or fortified plant-based milk, generally provides 100 to 150 IU of vitamin D per cup, making it an essential daily addition for those seeking to boost their intake. UV-exposed mushrooms. These are one of the rare plant-based sources of vitamin D. When exposed to ultraviolet light, mushrooms can naturally produce vitamin D, offering a valuable option for those following a plant-based diet. By incorporating these foods into your weekly meals, you'll be ensuring that your body has all the vitamin D it needs to maintain strength, stability, and overall health as you age. But here's the truth. Even the best diets fall short when it comes to restoring a deficiency. A typical healthy adult needs 600 to 800 IU per day. Seniors, particularly those with low baselines, often require 1,500 to 2,000 IU daily to maintain or restore optimal levels. That's where supplementation becomes a necessity, not an option. There are two main forms of vitamin D available in supplements: D2, ergocalciferol, and D3, cholecalciferol. Of these, vitamin D3 is far superior. It remains longer in the bloodstream and is more efficiently utilized by the body. If you're just beginning supplementation, a dose of 1,000 to 2,000 IU daily is a good starting point, adjusted as needed by follow-up testing. But even with the right form and dose, one important detail can make or break your results: timing and absorption. Because vitamin D is fat-soluble, it should always be taken with a meal containing healthy fats, such as avocado, olive oil, or a handful of nuts. This simple step can double your absorption rate compared to taking the supplement on an empty stomach. Then there's magnesium, the unsung hero in this story. Many people don't realize that magnesium is required to activate vitamin D in the body. Without it, even large doses of vitamin D may not produce results. In fact, up to 50% of U.S. adults are thought to be magnesium deficient. Symptoms such as muscle twitching, poor sleep, or frequent headaches may point toward this underlying issue. You can boost magnesium intake through leafy greens like spinach and Swiss chard, pumpkin seeds, almonds, and cashews, whole grains like brown rice and oats, or where needed, a magnesium supplement of 200 to 400 milligrams per day, preferably magnesium glycinate or citrate for better absorption. When combined with vitamin D, magnesium amplifies its effect, improving muscular performance, bone regeneration, and even mood stability. So what happens when you do everything right? Most people begin to notice early improvements within 2 to 3 weeks. You might experience fewer muscle cramps, better sleep, or a general feeling of increased energy. By the 4th to 6th week, many report greater steadiness in their gait, less lower back pain, and more fluid joint movement. More measurable changes come later. According to a study by the European Journal of Geriatrics, seniors who supplemented vitamin D daily for 4 months saw a 30% increase in quadriceps strength, a 35% drop in reported falls, and up to 42% better balance test scores. These are not small improvements. These are the kinds of changes that extend independence, reduce hospitalization, and drastically improve day-to-day quality of life. The key, as always, is consistency. Vitamin D doesn't work like a painkiller. You can't take it once and expect magic. It's more like a bricklayer, showing up every day to quietly rebuild the walls that time has worn thin. Stick with it. Test your levels regularly, every 3 to 6 months, and treat it as part of your long-term vitality strategy. Because in truth, this isn't about numbers. It's about being able to walk to the mailbox without fear, to play with your grandkids without pain, to rise from your favorite chair without a second thought. And sometimes that future begins with something as small and as powerful as a single vitamin. Let's take a moment to reflect on what we've uncovered. This wasn't about hyping up another magic pill or selling fear disguised as science. This was about revealing a truth too many have overlooked. That your independence, your energy, your ability to live life on your terms may hinge on one humble but powerful nutrient that's quietly missing in the lives of millions. We've seen how vitamin D isn't just for bones. It's a guardian of strength, balance, healing, and resilience. And for older adults, it could very well be the key to aging without surrendering your freedom. So what do you do with this knowledge? You act. You book that test. You step out into the sun with intention. You choose salmon over sausage. You pick up that supplement not because it's trendy, but because it gives you control. Because the truth is, aging is not what robs us of joy. It's neglect. It's inaction. It's believing the lie that weakness is inevitable. But not you. Not today. From this moment forward, you have the tools to reclaim your vitality, one step, one habit, one sunny morning at a time. So ask yourself, what kind of future are you building today? If this video inspired you, taught you something new, or gave you hope, comment below and tell me how you're going to take your first step. Whether it's walking in the sun tomorrow or picking up that bottle of D3, your story could spark change in someone else too. Don't forget to hit subscribe and turn on notifications because we're just getting started. Each week, I'll be bringing you simple, science-backed health insights designed to help you thrive, not just survive, no matter your age.